So with that said, Davone Bess, welcome to the Pachyderm Podcast, brother.
Thank you for having me, man. I look forward to the conversation.
Yes, sir. So starting off, tell folks a little bit about yourself.
Man, so I grew up in East Oakland, California, with a single mom, 15 years old when she had me, had my brother at 17. So single parent mom, with two bad kids at the before the age of 18, man, is kind of unique. I didn't have my father growing up, so I gravitated to sports early on, you know what I'm saying? And sports kind of became my father. Sports kind of taught me a lot of things, and thank God for sports, because it kept me out of trouble. I was able to see things, and obviously through my journey, man, I was able to fulfill a childhood dream. So went to Skyline High School, played everything there, football, baseball, basketball, ended up graduating in 2003. Earned a scholarship to play ball, ran into a little trouble after that. Got out of my situation and went to University of Hawaii for 3 years. Did really well there. Off to the NFL after that, man. Had six good productive seasons in the NFL, man, and transitioned from that to retirement and to getting into my foundation. And then obviously we'll get into details about the whole mental health stuff and what I'm doing with the foundation. Obviously, about that. You've been a part of that, but yeah, that's kind of my journey in a nutshell. But we can dig deep, and you can just go ahead and just throw whatever at me, whatever you want to ask.
Most definitely. That's definitely the microwave version. So let's peel it back a few years. Who were some of your influences in sports growing up? When you were 9, 10 years old, what athletes did you look up to?
Man, me at that time, hoop was my thing, so it was like the Trail Sprewells, Chris Mullins, Tim Hardaway's, Gary Payton's, Michael Jordan's, all the people that we basically saw, we heard of in the town, you know what I'm saying? So even to the Jerry Rices and the Tim Browns, Napoleon Kaufman, Rich Gannon, I grew up around that time. I was in that era with the Raiders, you know what I'm saying? So, and even baseball, Ricky Henderson, Mark McGuire, all the guys, you know what I'm saying? So, we had talent, with our major sports teams, and they gave the kids something to be motivated by and be inspired by,
And so at what point did you realize, you alluded to this earlier, like, okay, not only do I like playing sports, but I really think this is what I want to do. This is my passion. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life or as for a living. At what point did that click for you?
Well, I think it clicked for me, I want to say around like 6 or 7, my mom started getting me involved with organized sports. We always play sports in the streets and at the park and stuff, but she started getting me involved with organized sports. Mm-hmm. And at that time, I didn't have my father wasn't in my life. Mom was busy working, trying to provide for us, you know what I'm saying? So it was just basically me and my brother, you know what I mean? And to keep us out of trouble, she signed us up for, flag football, basketball, baseball. So we did the whole 9 yards, man. And it was just something that I knew would keep me on the right path and keep me away from all the trouble that was going on around us.
What do you attribute to your confidence? Because I got to share this with folks. You were one of the first youngsters that I ever coached or was around that talked in terms of when I make it, not if I make it. You were talking like this at 9, 10 years old. When I make it in the NFL, where does that confidence come from?
I think starting off, man, I would have to commend my mom, man. It said come from my mom because as a young kid, I watched her get up and go to work every day. I literally watched her get up and go and hustle and grind and do her deal to make ends meet and provide for me and my brother, like I said earlier. But I loved the games, man. I loved football. I loved baseball. I loved basketball. I loved to compete. Hated losing, obviously, that. I hated losing, but that passion was just something that was just always in me, man. I think I found my most joy in sports, and it kept me happy and kept me inspired.
Mm-hmm. So fast forward a little bit to high school, because I definitely want my high school athletes to really pay close attention to what you're about to be giving them. What is that process like when, you come in as a freshman, There's guys that are already seniors there, but you kind of coming in like a comet, like talk. They didn't heard word that, you know, somebody with your kind of mentality, I'm coming to take your spot. What is that process like?
Well, first of all, I would say it depends on what high school you're going to, but if you're going to, you know, one of them competitive schools, you got to go in, you know, with you know, you got to be humble, but at the same time, you got to come in with that chip on your shoulder. For me, it was about just being balanced. You know, me coming from John Sweat, and most of the guys I was playing with was coming from, you know, other big time programs, you know what I'm saying? Like the Dynamites and the Crusaders and all of these schools, you know. So the competition level was kind of different, but you got to go in with a level head and work. You know what I'm saying? My biggest thing is just the whole work aspect. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to be most not everybody, but most of the top guys are going to be talented. They're going to be able to run. They're going to be able to jump. But it's about finding that edge that's going to separate you from the pack.
So how do you juggle being a student athlete? What was that like in high school? You got practice, you got games, but I also have assignments and work. How do you juggle that?
Great question. Because me, initially, I didn't do good my freshman and sophomore year in high school. You know, I didn't take school serious. You know what I'm saying? It was just all about sports. And then I started getting recognition from these colleges, man, and that blew my mind. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, I got a chance to do something with my life, you know. So that kind of put me on the path of trying to get my grades back together. But I think for me, as far as the balance aspect, you got to find you a mentor, you know, someone like yourself, D, and the programs that you run, the after school programs you do is perfect. You know, I would tell them to sign up for it, get involved with it as soon as possible, because it's only going to help you. You know, it's going to provide you with different tools that you can use, not only in high school, but in life after high school too as well.
I mentioned them, you know, although it's me, and this is just coming from a coach's perspective. When I speak to these student athletes, I kind of smash their bubble when I'm like, I look across the room and I see them and I let them know. The reality is the majority of y'all not going to make it. Most of y'all teammates that you're sitting with right now, when y'all go to the next level, if you indeed make it to college, not all of y'all going to make it. You're going to look around and it's going to be less than half of these people, even if they're even still playing, let alone make it to that next level. What was that experience like for you post high school? So now, you know, you're getting the recognition, recruiters are coming through. What was that next phase like for you as they're starting to scout and college is starting to come up?
Well, it's interesting because I remember my junior year, man, I was just on the cusp of like, okay, is he going to be eligible or not to play, you know? And I remember Coach Bean bringing me into his office, and it was about 4 or 5 college scouts in there, you know, and they was just like very interested in me and wanting to know like, okay, who are you? You know, let's see these grades. Let's get to the bottom of everything. And Coach Bean put out my transcript, and I had under a 2.0. I had like a 1.8 or something like that. And they didn't say another word to me. They basically walked out the room and was done, because I had already proven to them that I'm not taking it serious enough, you know. And from that point on, that's when I changed my whole get down. You know what I'm saying? I was going to BYU, doing BYU online classes. I was had independent study classes. I was going back to teachers from 9th and 10th grade, asking them to do makeup work just to pull my GPA back up to match on my SAT scores. You know what I'm saying? So I put in that work, man, and I finally got that scholarship. And it was a blessing, man, because, you know, from our community, we really don't preach, you know, college. You know, everybody's trying to survive on an everyday basis, you know, and trying to get by and trying to do what they do for their families, their kids or whatever. And college is not always in the picture. You know what I'm saying? Graduating high school is a big deal. You know what I mean? So, unfortunately, everybody know about the situation with me going to jail right after high school. You know what I'm saying? So right after high school, I ended up making a bad decision, man. And it cost me 15 months of my life, you know, it cost me my scholarship. So it was some heartache. I learned a tremendous lesson from it, you know, making bad decisions, especially when you got a lot on the table, something at stake. And yeah, man, the rest is pretty much history. After that, I was kind of just off to the NFL, you know?
So we talked about the blessing in disguise. You know, we've mentioned this before about You know, how the average inner city youth hasn't traveled outside of 12 square blocks, you know, east, west, north, or south. But you're from East Oakland, born and raised, and you are blessed with a scholarship to go all the way to Hawaii. What was that? What was that like? Let's just talk about culturally, physically. What was that? What was the difference from leaving East Oakland to now I'm on the island of Hawaii going to school?
Well, I tell you one thing, man. I basically went from jail to paradise. So when I got out in September of '04. That November, I was off to Hawaii for good, man. And I remember getting off the plane and the humidity just like bam, smacked me right in the mouth, bro. Like man, it was humid, you know, it was a culture shock, different people. I didn't, you know, it was just different. I saw, you know, obviously I grew up with a lot of Polynesians, so I was familiar with what they look like or whatever. But just the whole island vibes, you know, the family camaraderie, you know what I'm saying? All of that was just really big, man. And then not only that, just paradise, you know, the beaches, the people, everything was just about love and you know, just taking it easy, man, and enjoying life and enjoying family. So that was a blessing.
That's when we almost recognize like elements of PTSD. In Oakland, I'm used to cars booming, glass, helicopters, sirens, and now I go to, like you said, brother, heaven on earth, this serenity that has to be a huge impact just on like psychologically, spiritually, and all that, all the above, just making that jump. So you get to the University of Hawaii, bro, and in short term, brother, put in work. Like records start getting set. What was again? So you move from this unfortunate situation, and rather than spin your wheels and figure it out, you basically come in beasting. What was again going back to that same confidence? What was behind that? Like it's like I gotta attack this now. Now that I got this second opportunity,
You hit it right on the nose, right there. It was like, man, I got this second chance. I have to do something with it. You know, God blessed me with this. A lot of things, a lot of the whole domino effect, a lot of things fell in place for this to happen, you know. And I'm like, I can't only fail myself, I can't fail these people that looked out for me as well. So I was just super blessed, man. So whatever it was I could do, I was trying to maximize that, you know, whether it be showing up to practice early, whether it be standing in the film room late, and studying and getting my notes done, whether it be study hall and getting my homework done so I can be eligible. You know what I'm saying? So different things like that. Me and my guys put in a lot of work, you know. So when I see the stats and people, you know, get real excited and praise me for it, in my mind, it doesn't click. In my mind, it's almost like, yeah, okay, it's fine. I kind of expected that because I put in the work for it. You know what I'm saying? When you put in the work and you get the results, it's like you excited, but you was like, I expected that shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what the situation was with me and my career at Hawaii, man. I busted my tail, man, and definitely got the results I wanted.
absolutely. So we push to the next phase. University of Hawaii, the draft comes up. You hit the combine. You're one of the few receivers that didn't drop a pass the whole combine.
Well,
But draft day comes around, brother, and you don't get drafted. What was that experience like?
it was tough, man. It was tough because going into that draft, I had got a second round grade because, you know, when you're a junior, they send your tapes and they give you this like a diagram or something of what you can be. You can be a high draft pick, or he jumps this or he does that. So they basically lay it out for you of who you are. And I got a second round grade, man, and I was kind of upset that I didn't get that phone call, because to have a second round grade to go and then not get drafted at all, that's a big window. You know what I'm saying? There's seven, for those of you out there that don't know, it's 7 rounds in the draft, you know. So if you, and I got a second round grade. So for me to go these other 5 rounds without getting picked up, it was just like devastating, man. But I got through it, man. Miami didn't sign any, didn't draft any receivers that year. It was a new coaching staff, you know, so Miami was real intriguing. And plus, to go from Hawaii to Miami, who wouldn't do that? You know what I mean?
Absolutely, because the only thing I heard during the draft, the pundits were trying to say you were undersized because you wasn't like 6'3", 6'5".
Yeah.
But as far as ability, and I'm sitting there saying myself, like, dude, this dude is this is Mr. Hands, y'all. Anybody pick him up, he gonna make an immediate impact. So
Yeah,
next
man.
phase. Now you in the NFL, brother. You get that call. What was that feeling like?
It was a blessing, man. It was such a blessing because it was a childhood dream fulfilled, But at the same time, since me being undrafted, I wasn't like, okay, I made it. I'm like, okay, I signed with the team. Oh, it's time to work now.
Right.
I reverted back to those days in Hawaii where I was just going ham, just working, not overworking, but making sure I put in enough time and repetition. That way I'm ready when my number was called. And my number got called and just kind of took off from there.
So now we definitely got to show the flip side of that coin. Going into the NFL, I give this scenario to my students all the time, my student athletes. You can't say you don't have it, bro. NFL, ESPN has just shown you signed for this much, but it's the signing bonus or whatever. And folks come out the woodworks. Folks that you went to kindergarten with. You find out you got cousins you never knew you had. Everybody wants something. How do you deal with that, brother? I come from East Oakland from nothing, and now I'm 2021, and I got money. How do you deal with it?
Man. That's been something that's been on me, and that I've kind of struggled with, throughout my career. Unfortunately, my career ended shorter than expected, due to me going through my mental health issues, and that kind of contribute to that. You know what I'm saying? As far as knowing who to trust and knowing who loves you for who you are, and not just because you got financial assets and you can help them get to wherever they're trying to do. But I think for me, it's just about setting boundaries, D. It's about setting boundaries, man. That's where it come down to, And I got a therapist that I talk to once a week, and we talk about setting boundaries, and we talk about, is there compassion and is there empathy when someone is approaching you? You know what I'm saying? Are they coming at you with compassion and empathy? You know what I'm saying? And that's how you got to kind of approach things. You know what I'm saying? That people are always out to ask for something and continue to bring up excuses and I need this, I need that. You gotta be able to work up that courage to say no, because you gotta protect yourself.
And that's what I think is unfortunate is we don't prepare student athletes for that because,
I wasn't.
Every time I give them that scenario, they make it sound so. Oh, I'm just gonna tell them no.
It ain't that easy, man. Yeah, it ain't that easy.
Let them know, man. They make it sound like it's just, oh yeah, I can tell them no. I'm gonna, bro. The reality is, folks that you love can hit you in a different way because they can hit a hard space. You don't want to see family struggling. You don't want to see friends struggling. So that's a whole different emotion that impacts you and hits you. So go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
So NFL, what is game day like in the NFL when you wake up and it's game day Sunday? Give some of my student athletes just what's the routine?
Okay, so the night before, curfew is like 9, 10 o'clock or something like that. But we do meetings. We have like a little snack or whatever. Then we go to bed. So for me, what I did, everybody has different routines. So let me rewind again. We all stay in a local hotel the night before the game. We don't stay home. Some of us can stay home, like depending on how old you are. If you're a veteran, 10-year veteran, and you got a cool ass coach, he'd be like, okay, you can stay home. You don't got to come. You don't have to stay at the hotel after meetings. So I will get up in the morning. I will go home. See the family, get my clothes, eat some breakfast a little bit, and then I will go straight to the facility, not where we play at, but the facility where we practice at. And I will get in the cold tub and the hot tub, just to get my legs ready. You know what I'm saying? Stretch a little bit, roll out, do all that kind of stuff. Next thing you know, I head down to the stadium. Same routine, basically. Stretch out, get loose, go on the field, warm up, do my laps, come in, get dressed. I put my pants on, not my pads yet. Go back out, catch some punts, get ready for the game or whatever. Next thing you know, you go back in, put your pads on, put your helmet on. It's game time. It's game time, and it's time to rock and roll. So it's a pretty smooth little sequence or whatever, just basically going from the hotel all the way to the stadium. It's pretty smooth, it's like home, facility, and then game time, basically.
And do they prep you for like after game interviews? What's that process like? Is there a person within the
Yeah.
organization that kind of grooms y'all for interviews, or what's that
Yeah.
process like?
Great question. Great question. We do. We have a guy that's head of our media staff. He's the head guy, and he has a staff himself. They actually roam around the locker rooms and kind of help with helping guys answer questions when they're struggling, or they get on a reporter for asking certain questions, and we have like from time to time, every other month, he'll come in with his staff, and we'll sit in the auditorium, and they'll have a big presentation about how to handle the media and how to, answer certain questions and not to put your team down and team first and all these different things that was important for the organization, and us.
Mm-hmm. So we fast forward, next phase of your life, the Bess Route Foundation. Tell us about the Bess Route Foundation.
Well, the Bess Route Foundation was established in 2011, man, and it's something that's dear to me. It's something dear to my heart because I created this to not only give back, but really give myself to the people and especially the children. We started a program in South Florida where we was going to high schools, talking to different kids or different high schools about making these right decisions, giving 100% to whatever you want to do. The truth needs no defense, just these different concepts that they can take with them and carry on with them through high school and in life, and we set up scholarships for them. It was fun, man. So my next phase now is basically, about it. We're going to be partnering up, me, you, and another friend of mine who's awesome as well, telling our stories and our journeys about not only what we went through, pre-high school and all of that, but post-NFL for myself, and talking about the importance of mental health, talking about the importance of providing resources for people who can't fight their battles. You know what I'm saying? Because that's very important. I was fortunate enough. I have the resources. I have the financial means to be able to get the help and battle my battles. A lot of people don't get that. So that's what we basically want to do. Go to these universities, go to these high schools and these corporate companies, and try to let these people know that we are living testimonies, and we all have the experience. Brother D, you are the glue in this, basically between me and Jason. Who's been doing this for 20 plus years and know your stuff and know what you're doing. So it's a great collaboration. I'm looking forward to what the future is bringing for us, and man, it's going to be exciting.
Why is mental health important in terms of being an athlete? Why is that? When we talking about fitness, a lot of my youngsters, they hit the gym religiously. They feel that that's important. How important and why is mental health important in dealing with if you're trying to call yourself going into professional sports?
Well, mental health is important to me specifically is because I remember, obviously being from Oakland, mental health was always frowned upon. It was always looked down upon. You know what I'm saying? And I was talking to one of my boys the other day, and we got on mental health and we started venting and talking a little bit. And he was like, yeah, man, when people, matter of fact, it was James Stokes.
Oh, yes, sir. Fellow teammate of yours.
Yeah, fellow teammate of mine. He was like, man, people used to laugh when people at people who used to go to the resource rooms and want to talk to people, and they should think something was wrong with you.
Right.
And it's a trip, man, because even as you get to high school, people say the same thing, man. Like, why you need to go talk to a therapist, man? Oh, you soft, or something like that. But I realized through my journey, man, that being vulnerable is a sign of strength. You know what I'm saying? It's a sign of strength and courage. And being able to step up and say, yeah, I need to talk to somebody. So don't feel like that you being soft and that you're not a real man because you got to go vent and talk to a therapist about what's going on in your life. It's powerful and it will change your life, man.
I'm glad you said that because coaches, and I'm gonna come at them when we get out here. They constantly preach to y'all physical toughness, mental toughness, but mental toughness is not just hey, I know I'm dealing with an issue at home, but it's game day. Let me cut that off and go out there and
Right,
focus. Like that's a
right.
part and I get it. I even want to, go that avenue with the coaches and the things they go through. We talk
Yeah.
about this as a coach, man. You lose 6 games, that's it. You know what
You on
they
the hot
do.
seat, yeah, or you be
So
out, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know who talks to coaches. Who do coaches vent to? They definitely displace it. It can put it on y'all, but like, who do coaches talk to at the end of the day? It's a full circle kind of thing, and I'm so happy and so proud of what you're doing with this because it's so needed. It's not a
Yeah,
it's not a conversation people are talking about.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And I just think the more awareness we bring to it, I think the better off the society would be, man, because you're starting to see a lot of athletes come forward and talk about it. And it has to be a discussion that's brought to the table to talk and to see how we can help people, because it's a real deal. I never thought in a million years that this should have happened to me.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? And then boom, it happened to me. Now it's about, staying focused and staying in a good mood and not, letting certain things trigger you and knowing your triggers and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
So let me talk about just on a personal note, fatherhood, brother. Like I've watched you grow from a little kid to manhood to
Yeah.
fatherhood. What is fatherhood like now?
Man, it's such a blessing, man. I'm just so it brings so much joy to my heart, man, because especially in Oakland, you see a lot of us grow without fathers, man, and then they end up not being there for their kids, and the cycle goes on. But for me, I've had so much good. On the flip side of my father not been there, I have no choice but to return that to my children. You feel what I'm saying? Like with you and Miss Stormer and all these different mentors and stuff that I had in my life at an early age that was able to have an impact on me. You know what I'm saying? That brings joy to me, as well as being able to transfer that same positive vibe and energy to my children, because my father wasn't there for me. You know what I mean? So it's such a blessing. My children are they really, really good kids. I'm so lucky. You know what I mean? They're funny, they're athletic, very gifted, very smart in the classroom. And I just gotta keep my eye on that little one, from time to time.
What are their ages now? You have a daughter and 2 sons. What their ages?
Yeah, yeah. So Kira, she's the oldest. She'll be 13 in November.
Oh,
And then, yeah, crazy, man. And then Kingston, my middle child, he'll be 11 in October, and then the youngest will be 9 in November.
that's what's up. You are very involved, and I'm so proud to see that. Shout out to James as well, man. To see
Yeah,
y'all with children now is just a trip.
man,
But I'm
it's a
also
trip.
seeing how y'all step up and are very involved with them. And like you said, that's a blessing to see. Particularly, I know y'all background and what y'all come from, and it's y'all got to be the torchbearers for this next generation and model it, man.
Yeah, man, for sure, for sure.
So
Such a blessing.
what's next for Davone Bess?
Next, right now, man, I'm just taking everything a day at a time. I'm just chilling. I got a bunch of things that I want to do, but I think I got caught up trying to do everything too much, in the past, and it just kind of overwhelmed me. You know what I mean? So from that standpoint, I'm just chilling right now, enjoying time with my family. I've been doing a lot of writing, for this book I want to do. Eventually, I'm just getting stuff off my chest and just
Right.
just going at it, typing. And then the foundation community work. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what I'm up to these days, man. And I look forward to it. I can't wait until we be able to start touching these people, man. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And what are some of the prospective cities? So when folks hear this, what are some of the prospective cities you're trying to visit with the Bess Route Foundation?
So right now, right off the gate, we're definitely gonna be in Oakland. We're gonna be in Oakland. We're gonna be in Hawaii. Definitely gonna be in South Florida as well. And then it'll just grow from there. Because what we're doing, it's not about the money. It's not about just throwing money to the foundation or throwing money in our pockets. It's about us delivering this message to make an impact on these children and these people. That's what's because good work is gonna it's gonna do good itself. You know what I mean? So that's what I look forward to the most, and we will be in a city near you, man, and I look forward to it.
Absolutely. With Davone, man, you already know how proud of I am of you, number one, and how much I appreciate you taking the time to be